Negative exponents is the one that you wanted me to look at. Let's take a look at the example here. So we have 2 x to the power of negative 2, y to the power of negative, let's say 3, and z to the power of 2 over 4 x to the power of 3, y to the power of negative 1, z to the power of 5. The whole thing is to the power of negative 2. Okay, this is a question that we got from a question. Is that the type of question that you're referring to? Yes, okay. Let's see. Samith, can you tell me how do you start this? You have your microphone on. Let's try that. What do you think you should do first, since you already took the test?
I would flip it, the bottom to the top and top to the bottom, so the exponent can be positive.
Okay, Sanit wants to make the exponents positive. When you have an expression like this, you don't really have to worry about the negative exponents at the beginning of the problem. So what you need to do is look for the, let's say we have a to the power of n over a to the power of m. If you have something like that, what is this equal to? That would be a to the power of what, Sanit?
Should be a to the power n minus m.
Right, very good. So if you have a to the power of n over a to the power of m, you have to subtract the exponents. So in this case, there are a couple of terms that we can simplify it that way. So this one we have x to the power of negative 2 over 3. So if I apply this property, that would be x to the power of negative 2 minus 3. That would be over 1. That would be over 1. And then for the y, I would get y 3 to the 3 minus 1 over 1. And for the z, we get z to the power of 2 minus 5 over 1. And the 2 and 1, we can always reduce it to 1/2, of course. And this whole thing should be to the power of negative 2. So you notice that I'm not worried about the negative exponents at this point. I'm just simply simplifying this. At the top of the fraction, I would get x to the power of minus 5 and y to the power of, so this would be 3 plus 1, that would be equal to 4. And this would be z to the power of 2 minus 5, that would be equal to minus 3 over 2. The whole thing would be to the power of negative 2. So now I have to use the other property, a to the power of n to the power of m. Okay, let me see who has a microphone. Someone with a microphone. Christian, do you have a microphone tonight? You want to tell me? Click on the microphone. And if you don't have a microphone, put an X next to your name so I don't have to call you on that. And if you do have a microphone, put a check mark for those of you here tonight. So the one without the microphone, I'm just going to Frank, looks like you have a microphone. You want to tell me what is this would be equal to? Right here. A to the power of n to the power of n. What is this would be equal to? Frank? You can go ahead and click on the microphone and tell me if you are there. For those of you who don't have a microphone tonight, try to set your microphone so you can communicate a lot easier that way. Let's go back to Sunit. She has the microphone on. What is this equal to, Sunit?
You will get a to the power of nm.
That would be n times n. Very good. So over here, we need to multiply these exponents together then, just like according to this property. Okay? So if we do that, let's see what we get. We get x to the power of -5 times -2, that would be 10. Y to the power of 4 times -2, that would be -8. And this would be z to the power of -3 times -2, that would be equal to 6, plus 6. Over 2 to the power of -2. Okay. So at this point, we're going to see if you have a negative exponent, you make it positive. So if you have a to the power of -n over 1, you make it as 1 over a to the power of plus n. Or if you have 1 over a to the power of -n, you move it to the top of the fraction like this and make it positive. So over here, all the terms that with the negative exponents should be moved to the opposite position. So we get 2 to the power of plus 2, which is the top of the fraction here. X to the power of 10, stay at the top, because I already have a positive exponent. Z to the power of 6 stays at the top of the fraction. And y to the power of -8 goes to the bottom of the fraction, becomes y to the power of plus 8. So we get 4 x to the power of 10, z to the power of 6 over y to the power of 8. That's how you simplify that. So once again, you have to remember the properties here. If I have a to the power of n over a to the power of m, that would be the same as a to the power of n minus m. You apply this property, there is possible in this case we have these places. And if you have a to the power of n to the power of m, then you multiply the exponents, and at the end, if you get the negative exponents, whenever there's a negative exponent, you move it to the opposite side of the fraction. And that's exactly what Christian just typed. Yes, exactly. So if you have a negative exponent at the top of the fraction, you move it to the bottom, it becomes positive. And if it's the bottom of the fraction, you move to the top, then it becomes positive. Okay, very good. That's how you simplify this.